Pokemon has released more than 100 different sets in the last 30 years, but which sets are actually worth the most today? From vintage legends of the 20th century to the prismatic powerhouses of Scarlet and Violet, every generation has one set that rises above the rest. Do you think you know every generation's most valuable set? Because some of these cards have been on an absolute tear recently. Here's how we're ranking. No promos, no stamped exclusives, no graded slab, none of these. Just the raw near mint value of every single mainline card in a set. Let's find out which ones truly stand out from the rest of their generation. Many people believe Scarlet and Violet is the best generation of Pokemon cards ever, but it got off to a rocky start. Fans were skeptical of the shift from yellow to silver borders, and alt arts with fingerprint texture and glitter known as secret illustration rares hadn't gotten the attention they deserved yet. You could even find booster boxes of Scarlet and Violet base set as low as $90. How the tides have shifted since those days. Pokemon has delivered banger after banger. 151 might end up being the most printed set of all time by the end of it. Paldea Fates might be the best shiny set we've ever gotten. Paldea Evolved, Twilight Masquerade, Destined Rivals, you literally can't find a booster box under $275 these days. And then there's the king of the generation, the set that everyone loves to hate, especially the people who answer the phones at Costco, Prismatic Evolutions. Prismatic put the team on its back and took the generation to the moon, Brion, giving us Pokeball and Master Ball reverse holos for the first time. It gave us 32 secret illustration rares where no other set had more than 11 at a time. And most importantly, it brought God Packs to the English marketplace. When it first released, the Master Set was valued at more than $10,000, but today it's sitting around $43. Before secret illustration rares, there were alt arts, and they completely revolutionized the hobby. The Sword and Shield era held our hand as we departed the age of secret rare rainbow reprints and delivered us to greener pastures by leaning into border-to-border illustrated cards. We're a few years removed from this era, and alt arts of Lugia, Giratina, and Gengar are still some of the most desired cards in the market. This rarity was first introduced in battle styles with a Step Up in Chilling Reign, an absolutely masterclass in the generation's most expensive set, Evolving Skies. Some people regard Evolving Skies as the greatest set of all time, valued at $5,000, which is 3 times greater than the next most valuable set in the era. It accounts for 6 of the top 12 most expensive cards, including one of the modern day grails, Moonbreon. Welcome to the 2-act symphony of the Sun and Moon era. Act 1 was the Dark Ages as we transitioned from XY to GX. Early sets of the era introduced secret rare rainbow full art Pokemon and leaned heavily into waifu trainers as the main chases of the set. But the Team Up expansion welcomed us to Act 2, ushering in tag team cards for the first time featuring 2 and sometimes 3 Pokemon on a single card. These cards gave us fan favorite mashups of Pokemon fighting together for the first time. Unbroken Bonds gave us fairies and ninjas. Unified Minds gave us Giratina and Garchomp embracing each other Titanic style. Cosmic Eclipse paired up just about every box art legendary for the ultimate power play, and Detective Pikachu gave us this. Better hide your kids, but it's Team Up and the Alabama Lovebirds at nearly $7,000 that take the prize as the generation's most valuable set. X and Y took our favorite Pokemon and fed them fan service, nostalgia, and steroid stones, giving us everyone's favorite Pokemon gimmick, Mega Evolutions. Some of our most beloved Pokemon went hyperbolic in a mashup no one saw coming, Dragon Ball Z, and fans unknowingly loved it. Megas put harder, faster, better, stronger Pokemon cards into the sets of the era too, with sets like Primal Clash, which launched shortly after the Alpha and Omega remakes of Ruby and Sapphire, or Hall-on Phantoms, which gave us a monochrome for the first time since 2011's Black and White base set. Pokemon also celebrated its 20th anniversary during this era and gave us not 1 but 2 milestone sets, Generations and Evolution, which to this day are 2 of the most beloved sets from this generation, but they are not the most valuable. That title lives with Ancient Origins. Ancient Origins took everything that made Primal Clash and Roaring Skies amazing and made them shiny, which sent this set into the stratosphere. Packed with fan-favorite legendary Pokemon from the Gens 2 through 6, this set commands almost $2,000 today. Grab your skateboard and slap on some My Chemical Romance because we're entering the Black and White era. The Black and White era cranked up their card design by dropping secret rare full art cards for the first time. Full arts were pretty scarce during the first few sets, being reserved for the top 2 to 3 chases of the set, until Pokemon opened up the floodgates with the release of Next Destinies. Fan perception and thus set values would continue to rise as sets were flooded with more and more full art cards, until we reached the year of Team Plasma in 2013. Plasma Storm burst onto the scene with royal blue borders and plasma crested reverse holos, and fans loved it, paving the way for the most expensive set of the generation, Plasma Freeze, valued at nearly $3,100 today. Plasma Freeze boasted fan-favorite Pokemon, but all of them were candles in the wind compared to one of the most competitively playable cards of all time, the Ultra Ball, which is strangely enough also the most valuable card of the era. Heart Gold and Soul Silver ruined binders forever with the introduction of 2-part Legend cards, where you had to put 2 cards together to make 1 card. It won't fit in my binder! For the first time ever, people were freaking out about pulling pictures of just Pokemon's legs. The Pokemon Company had put the full images on a single card. I bet this era would be given higher regard. I mean, the mashup of legendary legendaries in the same image was basically tag team before tag team was tag team. Ugh, gross. The top set of this era is also the generation's namesake. At $2,500, this set features everybody's first shiny Pokemon, and the one your mom still can't pronounce.
Oh, Gyarados.
No, Mom!
And a pairing of the Guardians of the Sea and Sky. Did I mention this set also has the best energies to ever grace the hobby? It would literally cost you $450 if you wanted to master set the energies from this set alone. Goodbye, headless legendaries. Hello, heads. Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum delivered a brand new way to upgrade your favorite Pokemon without the need to evolve it with Level X. You could just slap a Level X card onto a base version of the Pokemon and let them cook. Kind of like a poor man's Mega Evolution. This 11 set era heavily relied on classic tropes to carry some of the more valuable sets. More than a third of the sets had a Charizard card, like Stormfront's reimagining of the base set Charizard line with Charizard level 76. We got not one, but two evolution sets in Majestic Dawn and Rising Rivals. And unlike Scarlet and Violet, we got 3 different Gengar sets. Over half the sets in the generation relied on Gengar and Charizard. That's just phantasmal. But the most expensive set is a set that does a little bit of everything. Trainers Pokemon, Level X Rayquaza, Charizard, Scarchomp, Legendary Bird Secret Rares, and don't forget shiny Pokemon. It's Supreme Victors, valued at $2,600. Ruby and Sapphire gave us the most highly sought-after subset in Pokemon history with Gold Star Pokemon. Pull rates for Gold Stars were also the most difficult the hobby had experienced up to this point, with a pull rate of 1 in 72 packs. Crazy to think that's still easier to pull than most modern SIRs. This era was fully loaded with some of the most beloved sets of all time. Delta Species gave us mutated variants of our favorite Pokemon like Shiny White Metagross, Gold Star Groudon, and Afterglow Umbreon. Holland Phantoms and Crystal Guardians are still some of the most sought-after packs today, with a chance to pull cards like Gold Star Pikachu, Mewtwo, Alakazam, and Celebi. EX Deoxys gave us a generation-defining card in Gold Star Rayquaza, but the most valuable set is also the set that introduced the Gold Star concept. It's everybody's favorite Pokemon cosplay. Team Rocket returns at a staggering $13,000, with Gold Stars of Hoenn Starter Trio, classic Rocket Legends like Mewtwo and Moltres, and the coolest reverse holos we've ever gotten. Alright, dust off your Game Boy Advances and get your e-readers lubed up because it's 2002's eCard era. To the uninitiated, these cards might look fake, but to the educated, you know these are cardboard gold. With sets like Expedition and Aquapolis, the eCard era is card for card the most valuable era in the history of Pokemon, with an average set value of $17,000 between the 3 sets. But the most expensive set of the era would also be Wizards of the Coast send off to the Grey Havens as they handed the reins back to the Pokemon Company. It's Skyridge. This set is power-packed with a Gen 1 and 2 all-star lineup of Charizard, Gengar, Legendary Birds and Dogs, and Evolutions. With 40 cards valued at more than $200, this one set has more high-value cards than all 31 sets of Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield eras combined. Neo was under immense pressure to usher in a new generation of Pokemon for the first time, and absolutely delivered with renowned sets like Neo Genesis, Discovery, and Revelations. 6 long months after Pokemon 2000 launched in theaters, Neo Genesis finally gave us a Lugia card we were all waiting for. Neo Discovery invented a money printing formula that is still used to this day. Umbreon plus Moon equals Moonbreon. But Neo Revelations might have given us one of the most important additions to the TCG, Shiny Pokemon. Fans loved this concept and the Pokemon Company doubled down on the most expensive set of the era, Neo Destiny, which would run you almost $8,000 today. Neo Destiny was the culmination of everything that made the first few generations beloved: Dark Pokemon, Light Pokemon, and Charizard. The Gym era introduced us to Trainers Pokemon, which bridged the gap between the anime, the video game, and the card game for the first time. Collecting the Pokemon cards of the trainers that you spent hours grinding Zubats to beat in the video games made these cards all the more desirable. These gym leaders were absolutely stacked. Like, I don't think 7-year-old me with my solo Charmander team is making it past Pooter City. And if by some miracle I did, I'm definitely not making it past your first crush, Misty, who would have wrecked me with her G-Dose and determination. Gym era was the perfect sequel to the base set era, with both sets commanding thousands to complete. But it's the set with Charizard and Rocket's Mewtwo, Gym Challenge, that takes the cake for the most expensive of the era. Ever wonder which trainer has the most expensive team across all the generations of Pokemon? Well, make sure to subscribe and check out my YouTube shorts where I break it down. And finally, it's the era that started it all. Pokemon hit shelves in 1999 and overnight playgrounds transformed to black market trading hubs. Schools became a boasting ground for beat-up Charizard card flexes.
Do you think it's a PSI 10?
Bus rides home were filled with the regret of the trades that you made that day, but not nearly as much regret as you have today for letting your mom give your cards away. Honestly, we have this generation to thank for where the hobby is today. Before there were these, we had these. Before the world went crazy over these, Jungle gave us these. Before Pokemon gave us this, Fossil gave us this. Wait, go back to that right quick. I don't think anybody asked for this. Anyways, but there's only one set that can say it gave us everything. Valued at $17,000, the set that's so iconic they've reprinted it seemingly 100 times. First edition base set. So there you have it, the most expensive sets from every generation. Let me know in the comments if you guessed all 12, and I'll see you in the next one.